Shalom Yasharala, giving all praise and glory to the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for everything, because he's worthy to be praised for everything. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Sabbath and resting and in the word of the Most High to be able to please him. This is holy day, so I want to make sure that we're in the word and doing what we should do to please him. I've been going over a topic of how we all are dealing with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And when you think about it, the Most High, that's why I went into the tree of life. You can go over those particular precepts pertaining to the tree of life. I went into that to show you that the Most High offered us everlasting life. And behind the fall of man, in choosing death instead of life. Think about it, you can live forever and ever and ever. And what we're working hard to be able to get to, and getting to the kingdom of the Most High, was already offered to us in the beginning. But we chose to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And he told us, the day that you eat of this tree, you're going to die. And this is what we chose, death instead of life. And that's where we at now. And our way of following the way of this world and choosing the way of the world, some of you straddling the fence, you really are the world and carrying the title of an Israelite. Because this is not just about being a Sabbath Israelite, but you got to be an Israelite every day. It's serious. It's always going to start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Give me thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior. We say no man comes to the Father but by him. There's no New Testament when he's saying it. They only had the law and the prophets when he's saying it. That fact in St. John 14:6. So everybody understood the Most High in the name of the Lord and Savior. That was spiritual. Now those that are not spiritual are not going to understand even what I'm saying now. But it's a fact. Look at going into Mashiach Yahushua's word as he's given us the last words in the book of Revelations. He told us in Revelation 3:15. Revelation 3:15. I know thy works. So I know what you're doing. That thou art neither cold nor hot. So you neither cold nor hot. You're cold, you ain't dealing with it, point blank. Talking about those that's neither cold nor hot. If you hot, you still got that zeal. You still want to be in this word. You want to be bringing forth the understanding of this truth, of this Bible, of the Most High, of Mashiach Yahushua. But he say, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. You ain't cold nor hot. I would that you were cold or hot. He said, I would that you would be cold or hot. Leave it alone. Don't deal with it all, or be hot and be want to reach the kingdom. Let your name be written in the book of life. Listen what he say. So then, because thou art lukewarm, you straddling the fence. You're just like this day. Some days you're not. Or you're not studying like you should be. But you call yourself an Israelite. But then you ask the question that you have heard over and over again. You can't give quite a direct answer. You're lukewarm. Because you say study to show yourself approved to the Most High. Take a lot of work to do this. It's not something that you looking at. Unless you got a Christian mind, you must go back to the church and just listen to a preacher tell you whatever he's going to tell you and get up there and holler and screaming and y'all do whatever y'all do in the church. You must go back to that. Because this is going to take a lot of work to understand. This is a puzzle. This is a formula. Just like you got a recipe of the best meal that you can make, everybody loves the way you make it, that's a special recipe. This is a special recipe. That's the most specialist recipe, formula that you can have in knowing this. Because everybody's not privileged to have this knowledge. But now you are called to be able to learn this, and you playing around. That's why he call you lukewarm. This is what he say. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So he's going to spew you out of his mouth. That's deep. That's why you can play around with this if you want to. Revelation 19 and 15. I'm just a messenger. I'm just your humble servant telling you what you need to do and what's going to work. Solutions. Revelation 19 and 15. He said he's going to spew you out of his mouth, right? Listen. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite, kill the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's the laws. That's this Bible. The understanding of this Bible. Period. And he treaded the winepress of fierceness and wrath of the almighty power. You see that? So he's going to smite the nations. And we're nations within one nation. 12 nations that make up one nation. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. We one nation. With 12 nations within our nation. Oh, how's that? Let's prove it. Genesis, go to Genesis, the 35th chapter. Verse 10. This is 35 and 10. And the Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob. This is our forefather. Abraham had a son named Isaac. Isaac had a son named Jacob. And the Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation, let's at this closely. A nation and a company of nations. A nation, that's what I said, we're a nation. The 12 tribes of Israel. But within our nation is a company of nations. All those tribes I named are different nations that make up one nation, the Israelites. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. See? So, that's why my second shot, I want you to be cold or hot. Because if you are lukewarm, you playing around with this, thinking that, oh, I'm going to make it to the kingdom anyway. But whatever you doing and not doing what it takes to make it to the kingdom, this take work. Take a lot of work. Studying, just like Esau have you in his curriculum. You got to go through studying or going through his work in the schools and give you homework and all that. You think you're going to make it to the kingdom, but you doing that for him, but you ain't doing it for the Most High. But you going to make it to the kingdom. You give the Most High a little time, and you give him all the time. And you think it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay, I'm telling you. As it is written. So, like I said, we were offered everlasting life. But we chose the deceiver. We chose the serpent. We listened to the serpent. And when you look at it, when you go to Revelations, the 12th chapter, in verse 9 it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, when we was talking about in Genesis 3rd chapter, called the devil and Satan. See that? Called the devil and Satan. The serpent, the dragon, the devil, Satan, same entities, along with the beast, too, which deceiveth the whole world, and the false prophets. which deceiveth the whole world. You see that? Lied to the whole world until this day. Now, this great dragon, which is red, tell you in verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. So the dragon is red, right? So now when we go to Revelations, now we gotta before we go there, we're gonna go to very important that we see to go to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. We got to point out some things. 2 Thessalonians 2. And we're going to look at verse 3. First and foremost. And it says, let no man deceive you by any means, right? So let nobody deceive you by any means. Now go to Matthew 24 and 4. Mashiach Abishai warned us. Matthew 24 and 4. He said, and the Mashiach Abishai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Now we already read how the devil and Satan and the dragon and the old serpent deceive the whole world. So he said, hey, take heed that no man deceive you. Don't let nobody, no man lie to you. That's why you got to be up on your wisdom to know what's right from wrong according to these precepts. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, that day of Mashiach Yahushai, coming back to set righteousness on this earth, except there come a falling away first. And we fell away in 70 AD. We fell from having our own Senate and, our government, our means, but we still was under the Romans, but we fell in 70 AD. He said that day will not come until there come a falling away first. We fell in 70 AD, and Mashiach Shai talked about it, and he told us, he warned us about it in Luke 21 and 20. He said, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh, is near. What armies? This the Roman armies, the so-called white man, the so-called Italian Caucasian, who was a superpower of earth, surrounded Jerusalem. We see it compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh, is near. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. We fled into Africa at this time. And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. You're in the midst of Jerusalem, get out of there, he's saying. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein. You in the countries, don't come back to Jerusalem. Don't come back to Judea, because for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. You see? All things that are written may be fulfilled. That this would happen. And here it is. It happened in 70 AD. You see? Some what? Almost 36 years, 37 years after Mashiach Abishai died and rose and was ascended to the right hand side of the Most High. 70 he's warned us, right? But some didn't follow, some didn't listen. That's why verse 24 said, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. Hear that? And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So when you look at Luke 19 and verse 43, it says, for the day shall come upon thee, that thine enemies, so we call these armies our enemies. What armies would they be? The Roman armies. He calling them the enemies. For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee round and keep thee in on every side. This is from approximately 65 to 70 AD. We fell in 70 AD under Constantinople. Masada, the Battle of Masada. Constantinople was in 1453 AD when they came out of Caucasus Mountains and started taking down the known Israelites that were ruling the Byzantine Empire. They called it the Backwards Empire, the Dark Ages, dark people ruling, the medieval time between the time that they're ruling here, the Romans, so-called white man, the so-called Italian Caucasians, until the time that they came out of Caucasus Mountains, approximately 1453, as the Ottoman Turks. They started to take down the Byzantine Empire, the Israelites that was ruling at that time, until 1492 when they established the Renaissance period till now. So it says, for the days shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round and keep thee in on every side. So they cast a trench around us, and they kept us in on every side. And shall lay thee even with the ground. Lay thee even with the ground, because you're going to be dead. And thy children within thee, children too. And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. That's why he's warning us. He's telling us then that these things are going to happen to us because we didn't know the time of our visitation. So when you see it, he told us, when you see this happen, flee, run. But some didn't run. Some, nah, I'm not going nowhere. You know how Israel is, hard-headed, stiff-necked. That's why Luke 21 and 24 says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword. We fought. We didn't just give up. We always fought. But the prophecy is going to come to be as it is written. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, these other nations, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Till the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And we nearing that time now. But no man knows the time or day but the Most High. So, going back to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, right? So what happened when this happened? That's why I say as it is written, right? So it's written in what would happen to us in Psalms the 79th chapter. Go there. Psalm 79 and 1 down. It says, O Most High, the heathen are coming to thine inheritance and to our land of Israel. Like he said, Judea. Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. The dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heaven. The birds, the buzzards were eating us up. The birds were having a feast on us because the bodies were not buried. The flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth. The beasts were eating us up. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. See? Why I say gonna let us flat down? Like I said, we're gonna lay us flat down on the ground. Now their bloods have they shed like water round about Jerusalem. There was none to bury them. We are become a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. That's what happened. So, going back to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, the 3rd verse, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. When we fell in 70 AD, our last stance was Masada. It's like a mountain. And the Romans built a dirt. It was like the gate was way up in the air. And they built a dirt going all the way up to that gate. A mountain that they could just ride, walk up. Say, except there come a falling away first. We fell in 70 AD. Living in the land of Israel, and we ran into the interiors of Africa. It was there approximately 1,500 years before the Africans, so-called Africans, the Hamites, and the so-called Arabs, the Ishmaelites, Hamites and the Ishmaelites got together and with the white man and took us down. Brought us into captivity, slavery, and bondage when we came on these ships over here. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin, hear that? That man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. See, that day's not going to come until that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, son of hell. So, listen to what it says concerning this man who is the son of perdition, that man of sin. He got to be revealed. Who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God, all that is called the Most High. This man opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worship, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, right? So, that man of sin, the son of perdition, he opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, right? So, let's look. Just look at it. Because I look at this Bible and say, he opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God. Y'all know that word. Called the Most High. Or that is worship. So that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is God. Now open this Bible. It's a holy Bible. Open it up. And there it is right there. It don't take a rocket science to figure this out. There it is right there in your face. Right there. That's called God. Opposes, count himself as opposes all that is called God. He himself sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is God. Now, I'm just saying these are the things that need to be exposed, because people call themselves being Christians or whatever they say their denomination is, and they're not really exposing this. Now, when you understand this is what he's done. Now, that's him saying that he's the Most High. Him saying he's the Most High. Now, here it is here. Representing who? Mashiach Yahushua. You got blonde hair there, right? But he's still a Caucasian. Now, let's look at him again. Oh, here he is. Right now he got brown hair, but it's still them in the Bible. That's them in the Bible. And it tells you in Revelation 1:14 that the Mashiach had hair of wool, nappy hair. In verse 15 said his feet like the fine brass that burn in the furnace, very, very dark skin. So, something wrong with this picture. But it fits right what he's saying. This man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God, called the Most High, or that is worship, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is God. Right? So let's look at it. Go to 1 Corinthians 3:16. 1 Corinthians 3:16. See what this temple of the Most High is, that he's showing himself as being the Most High. And the Mashiach Yahushua. It says, 1 Corinthians 3:16, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High? We the children of Israel. And that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? See? Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? That we the temple of the Most High. So he's showing himself amongst us as the Israelites as God. You can't deny it. I just showed it to you in the Bible. You have many Bibles that he has his pictures in there say that he is God. They are now back. Matter of fact, I did the lesson last night, and no sooner I finished the lesson, they sending holograms up showing Caesar Borgia in the clouds, standing up in the clouds. Come on now. They said it was going to do that. They said they're going to do a hologram of Caesar Borgia and a hologram of Muhammad. Those that's dealing with Islam in the sky. They can shoot holograms 50 miles away. So, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God, all that is called the Most High, or that is worship. We know we worship the Most High, so that he as God, he as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, sit amongst the children of Israel, showing himself that he is the Most High. He is the Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. See? You hear these things. So, looking at what we dealing with here in the serpent, who was the one that told us that you're not going to die. You're going to be as gods if you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? So let's look at this serpent. We see that in Revelation 12 and 9 again, and the great dragon, the dragon, was cast out. That old serpent, right? So the dragon is the old serpent. Serpent, dragon, same thing, right? That's lion. Now we know, if you go to Psalms 58 and 3, and this is just the truth, you know, and if you can make it mean something different, I like to hear it. I challenge you to make it mean something different. Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked, we know the wicked is defined in Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not when, who is he? So, and we see, I just showed you how the wicked covered the faces of the judges in that Bible. Those pictures I just showed you. The first picture you see is this old white man in the sky representing the Most High. That's a lie. Most High had hair pure wool. Shai, Philip asked him, hey, show us the Father, it suffices us. In St. John 14 and 8, he said, have I been so long time with you, Philip? Thou hast not known me. He that have seen me, I've seen the Father. Like father, like son. So Psalms 58 and 3 says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, doing what? Speaking lies. So they hooked up with the dragon, the serpent, the devil, Satan, speaking lies. It's telling you here. So when we look at this dragon, let's go to Revelation 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So you're going to blaspheme. In the blasphemy, you know you're going to lie if you blaspheme. You'll lie if you blaspheme. So this beast is the Edomite nation. Nations, the so-called white man's kingdoms. The sea represent the nations. Look at Daniel 7 and 3. Daniel 7 and 3. So we got to look at this as it is written, because majority of the things you see in the New Testament is actually something giving understanding of what we already know. I won't say everyone knows, but we should know from reading the Old Testament. Daniel 7 and 3. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another, right? So we're looking at the sea. So verse 17. These great beasts There's 4 great beasts, which are four kings. Those are men. 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. See? So these beasts are men. 4 kings that should rise out of the earth. Look at Revelation 17 and 15. Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, talking about the sea, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes, and nations and tongues, different languages. So this waters is the sea, are peoples and multitudes of people, and nations, those are people, and tongues, different languages. Okay, so understanding that, like I said, you get understanding through the precepts. So when we're looking at this, we can get understanding. We're gonna go to a specific verses here. It's telling you the 7 heads are the 7 leading empires of the Edomite nation. You know, like the head of a corporation, the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russian, the British. The Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russian, the British, coming into consecutive order as such. They had 10 horns. That's the 10 kingdoms of the Edomites. That they not power figures, because we already know about the 7 heads that we just named, but they support their nation monetarily, militarily, resourcefully, at all times, until this day, known as the 10 common markets, or the European economical community, or the European community, you know, and also called NATO today. So when you look at it, they say they blasphemy. All these kingdoms stood for and promoted filth, wickedness, homosexuality, murder, you know, not guilty and murdering people, you know, false religions. Messiah didn't give us no religion. He gave us laws, statutes, commandments. Politics, call it politics. Ticks do what? Suck the blood out of you. Or politics. And politics will suck the blood out of you. Poof, you're done. So this is what they're dealing with. You know, the false education. You know, Christopher Columbus discovered America. America was already inhabited by people. You know, many things. Like I say, you heard it. So let's look at verse 4 of Revelation 13th chapter. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. Hear that? So they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. Right? So you look at all nations worshiping the dragon, who is the serpent, who is the devil, who is Satan, that gave power unto the beast. So when you look at the so-called white man, I mean, he's a superpower of the earth now, and he get his power from the dragon, as we see in here. No one can defeat him. He said nobody can bring us down, because he got the super duper nuclear weapons, right? And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. How did he get the power? I know y'all saying, well, I don't know about all that because of whatever reason, but let's look at it. Go to Luke, the 4th chapter. How did he get power? Luke 4 and 5. But the devil, taking him up into an high mountain, this is Mashiach Abishai, when he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. So he showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time, including the kingdoms that we in now. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will, I give it. So the power of the kingdoms will be given to the devil, and whomsoever he will, he give it to him. Right? It says, but there's a condition. If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. So it's telling you in Revelation 13:4, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. They worship the dragon, so they worship Satan. He said, all shall be thine. If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. Now, how you going to tell me that they're not worshiping the dragon, who is the serpent, the old serpent, the devil and Satan? What did Mashiach tell him? Luke 4:8. And the Mashiach answered and said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan. For it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High thy power. Your power, Satan. And him only shalt thou serve. See? He letting them know. You figure because he's in the flesh, he's weak. He created him. He know. He knew everything about him. So, when you look at, saying they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? See? Nobody's able to deceive them. They had a nuclear bombs, you know. But when you look at Revelation 18:8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Most High power who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, with America, shall bewail her. They're going to be crying over her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that great city America, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. See? So, going back to Revelation 13. Verse 6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. So what does this mean? He lied on the Bible? We just showed you through the Spirit. Their pictures is all up in there. That's wrong. Painted whites, so-called whites, images, all in the Bible. Tells you in 1 Maccabees 3:48. Lied on the Bible, painted their pictures in there. You've seen it. So now, I tell you they would do this. 1 Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, which is the Bible, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. Here it is. The heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. See? There it is. Their images. He opposes everything that's called God. Here he is now. Again. See? See? So, Salaki for the page moving, but it tells you the wisdom of Solomon. That's why some of us never fooled by that. That never moved some of us. Wisdom of Solomon 15:4. For neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us. See, remember he lied to the whole world? But he said the mischievous inventions of men did not deceive us. Remember he said, hey, don't be deceived. Mashiach told us. For neither did the mischievous invention of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors, the painter's fruitless labor, the sight whereof entices fools to lust after it. And so they desire the form of a dead image that have no breath. Both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. See? So, that didn't move us, certain ones of us. While we're able to bring forth this truth and continue to go forward in the spirit. Look at, they say, Christ, the prophets, apostles, everyone. They painted them as being so-called white men. That's a lie. Verse 6 again of Revelation 13th chapter. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High to blaspheme his name. I mean, they created his word God. They created his word Lord. The Europeans. And his tabernacle. The tabernacle represents the Israelites and them that dwell in heaven. This is heaven right here. They came over, they had a song, I am in heaven. Heaven is power and authority on the earth, you know, the ozone layer, the firmament, and the fourth dimension where the Most High and the angels dwell. So, this is what we're looking at. Look at verse verse 7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So, you know, we went into captivity in 1619. So he had power, but the reason why everything is on us, and a lot of people don't realize why we're being blamed for everything. It's our fault. We're the ones that have the coronavirus more than anyone else. Why are we being singled out like that? You gotta understand, they not even understand why they're doing it. Somebody say, wow, why? It can't be true, but you still fall along with what they say. Go to Ezekiel 35th chapter. And I'm here because it's going to come around to show where our people is, why we're still dealing with eating of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We're still dealing with this. It's all a part of our makeup from birth to death. And only those that come to the light is going to come out of the gross darkness that they've been put in from birth. Ezekiel 35 and 1 and 2. Moreover, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, right? So who is Mount Seir? Let's find out. Genesis 36th chapter. Go to Genesis the 36th chapter. But see, it's a mindset. You can realize it's not necessarily you in the flesh, but it's the way you think. So now let's look at Genesis, the 36th chapter and the 8th verse.